Hi YouTube, you right? Another video. This one's for writers, aspiring writers in particular. If you want to be a professional writer, I want to make something very, very clear. You don't need to buy a course. You don't need to buy a writing course. This applies for copywriting. This applies for if you want to be an author and write novels or books, non-fiction, fiction, whatever. You don't have to buy a writing course, and you certainly don't need to spend thousands of pounds. I've seen some courses, I'm not naming names because I don't want to get sued, but I've seen courses out there for literally thousands of pounds charging aspiring writers, people who are very hopeful people, charging them to teach them how to write, as if they do the course, then all of a sudden the more money they spend, the more likely they are to make money from their writing. It's just patently not true, and it's obviously not true. Now look, I've got nothing against courses. I think that, if you lack confidence and you don't know what direction you want to take your writing in, maybe you can buy a cheap introductory course, just very basic, just to get your ideas formed in your head, just to give you some inspiration and a bit of confidence. But you don't need to spend thousands of pounds. I will make a slight distinction when it comes to one-to-one mentoring, especially someone in the industry who knows what they're doing. Maybe you've written a book and you just want a bit of feedback from a published author. That makes a bit more sense. It's one-to-one, it's tailored, I get it. But to buy a course off someone who has just generically put together a bunch of slides and it's all stuff you can just Google or whatever, it's just a waste of money and you don't need it. So look, why do people buy these courses? I've been guilty of it as well. I bought a course when I first started writing, this is a few years ago now. Didn't even finish it. I thought it was a massive waste of time. I just wanted to go out and get work and start getting paid for my writing. But look, why do people do it? It's two reasons: lack of confidence and a lack of direction. You don't think you're good enough, and then you don't know where to start in the first place. If you're a copywriter, it's super simple. You start writing. You need a portfolio of work. Write it. If you haven't had clients before, write it yourself, make it up. Find a topic you like, write a blog on it or an article, whatever it may be, spend a bit of time on it, make it good, showcase your writing abilities, get a portfolio, do that a few times, and then all of a sudden, bang, you've got a portfolio, you can take it to clients. Then, once you've got your portfolio, you join Upwork and you start looking for clients. Now look, there's an argument to be made. If you want to be a copywriter, buy a course and then you can learn what type of writing you want to do. Oh, because there's so many specialisms out there. Oh, I don't know if I want to do white papers or scripts or speeches or blog posts. Forget about all of that. The best way to learn is just to do it. If you join Upwork, there are thousands of jobs on there. I get recommended jobs every single day and they're different. Sometimes I get recommended social media posting. Sometimes it's long form, short form articles. Sometimes it's adverts. Sometimes it's just generic marketing filler. Sometimes it's speeches, YouTube scripts, the list goes on. I could go on, I won't, it's boring, but you get the idea. There's loads of jobs you could apply to, even as an aspiring starting writer, you're just starting off, and you can just get stuck in. See which jobs you like, because they're all out there. To be a professional writer, it's just about getting paid for your writing. That's not to say you're going to be rich and successful overnight, but if you want to be a professional writer, the definition being getting paid for your work, get a portfolio, start applying on Upwork, get some clients. And you can do it quick. You can do that today. You can literally start today. Today, by the way, is a Friday in my world, as I'm filming. And by Sunday, you could have paid clients asking you to do work and them giving you money. You're a professional. You don't need a course. You just need a portfolio of work and you need some clients. You can start writing today. Practice is the best teacher. You get that through experience, you get it through paid writing, and it's a different type of pressure. When you're on a course, it's not real. You're just kind of learning the ropes, but it's not actually a pressurized situation. You're learning it at your own pace in your own time. You need the pressure of a deadline. A client messages you saying, where's the work, where's the work? It's your first ever job, so you want to get it right. That's the pressure you need as a writer. So if you want to be a copywriter and make a bit of money that way, get some clients in. Portfolio, clients. As for authors, I'm not as experienced with this, but it's the same bloody principle. Finish your bloody book. Finish the book you've been thinking about and that you've started writing, but you haven't actually finished it yet, and you haven't sent it to any agents yet. You don't need a course to do that. You just need to get your authentic voice onto the pages. Look, if you are an aspiring author, in my experience, you're basically just writing the type of books that you enjoy reading. So if you like crime thrillers and that's what you've read your whole life, you're probably going to write a crime thriller. If you like historical non-fiction, maybe you're going to end up writing historical non-fiction, especially if you're more academically minded. Excuse me. But again, you don't need a course for any of those things. You just need to remember the type of books you've enjoyed reading your whole life. Then you need to give it a go yourself. And then once you've finished your book, non-fiction is slightly different, but if you've written a fiction book, once you've finished it, you've got your manuscript, then you need to talk to an agent. And the agent will tell you if you're good enough or not, and you go from there. I think writing is a very odd profession because it involves a lot of setbacks. I think you have setbacks all the time in your own head, when you have writer's block, whatever you want to call it, with your clients when they don't like your work, an agent when they don't like your manuscript. You just need to be resilient. So, long story short, you don't need to buy a course. A course is just procrastination. A, it's money you don't want to waste, and B, you're procrastinating. Because writing, all you need is, you don't even need a laptop, you need a pen and paper, but in the modern world you need a computer of some sort, you need an internet connection. So look, get your computer out. If you're copywriters, get your portfolio, start writing, join Upwork, get clients, authors, finish the book you've been talking about and thinking about for so long, and then send it out to agents. That's all it takes. Peace and love. You don't need a course. If you want a mentor, fine. I'm not your guy, but if you want a mentor, get one. You don't need a course. That's putting off the inevitable. Be a professional, get paid for your work, and enjoy it. We're writers, we love it. What else is there except work and cups of tea? Anyway, I'm rambling. No courses, just work. Love.